I admire Haredi society. I remember saying that Rabbi Parnas said back in yeshiva, this is like 20 years ago. He said he liked living in what is a yeshivish environment. He didn't use the word Haredi. That didn't become a word until a little bit later. That's more of an Israeli word, but eventually became a word. He likes it because it's a completely Jewish culture. You want to live in a Jewish culture. That's good. You want to live a culture that's kula Torah. It is entirely Torah. And I think that, for better or for worse, if you were to go to, let's say, Lakewood or Beitar Elite, etc., you'll find a culture that is entirely Torah-based and has very little outside influence. Even if you can say, yes, well, the garb is taken from 19th century Europe. Shkoyach. It's not, it doesn't influence them like they're thinking about European, 19th century European culture and their values, thank God. That's a good thing. It's entirely Torah. But here's the problem. It might be Kula Torah, but it's not Kola Torah Kula. It's not the entire Torah. You might end up in such a place. And Kal v'chomer, if you go to a place that has, unfortunately, foreign influences, you go to some modernish place, you're wading in foreign influence that people don't even realize is nonsense. Rabbi Victor Miller pointed this out. You go live in, I don't know, they call them Tinek Shenishba. I have nothing wrong with Tinek, by the way. That was just joking. Yeah, okay, you know that. So everybody has it. Well, not everybody. A lot of people think watching TV is a normal thing. Living a life of television or whatever is normal. That's not normal. You have to take that out. So whereas you have to find that nice medium. This is for Nehemiah out there. He's not with us, but he'll be listening to this. You want a culture that's entirely Jewish. That's Haredi one, but we have to improve on it because it doesn't incorporate the entire Torah. There are certain things that, like we are going to be learning now, which in some places they have hostility. Yes, you could live with Rabbi Brandt where he lives because he does study Kola Torah, Kula. And the problem is then you might get ostracized saying, oh, but this whole thing that which we are going to study forthwith, those are things you shouldn't study. Why? Because it might make you non-conform, right? You learn how to pronounce Hebrew properly. Someone asked, oh, when are you pronouncing Hebrew properly? The guy in the video said, well, yeah, I said, yeah, I speak colloquially English sometimes. Pronouncing Hebrew properly is something that we say for prayer and reading the Torah. It's very hard to try to speak Hebrew that way. We're not used to it. And your kids won't understand you if you talk that way. So, we want to incorporate these things. But the problem is, I know people around here, alleged rabbis, who were very uncomfortable. Baruch Hashem, most are comfortable with hearing that, Vav is pronounced like a W. Another one is just like, you can't do that. I don't want you telling that. If I could, I would make sure you would not tell people this. Like, let them know about this fact. Because it could chas v'shalom make it that they'll pronounce a Vav like a W. And that will lead to mixed dancing, I guess. So it's pretty bad. Yeah, but seriously, it's kind of funny, by the way, and we're going to close with this. Even if you don't think that a Vav should be pronounced as a W, if you're pronouncing Hebrew in the wrongest way, let's say you have a Galicianer accent, so the O is an I and the U is an E, yeah, then you never pronounce a Vav like a W. But if you pronounce at least a shuruk like a U, then you're pronouncing a Vav like a W. Correct? Every time there's a shuruk malay, the Vav is there because the vowel sound is U, and you cannot pronounce an U without a W sound. If you don't do that thing with your lips, it'll just be Okay? Plus W is U. So too, you cannot pronounce a chirik without a yud. Everybody knows a chirik carries a yud with it. There's no such thing as a human mouth being able to produce the sound of a long E without him putting his palate in the position of pronouncing a Y, a yud. It's a physical impossibility if you're a human. So we all know that yud is a natural part of it. So everybody pronounces a yud, even a person would deny. I don't say a person comes into here and says a yud should be pronounced like an American J. So he opens up the Torah. He says, Bereshith bara Elokim et hashamayim et haaretz, whereas Hayjatha. Okay, he would say that Hayjatha. Okay, he pronounces a yud like a J. Even if he were to do a silly thing like that, when he says Bereshith, when he says that sheath, so he's pronouncing the yud like a Y. Okay, there's no way around it. So too, anytime a person pronounces a shuruk properly, he's acknowledging that a vav is pronounced like a W. So too, anytime he pronounces cholam correctly, kal v'chomer, anytime both vowels are followed by a patach genuva, as we mentioned last week, no wah, lanu wah, he's pronouncing a W, whether he likes it or not. So just to know, people do it.
We would like to encourage our viewers to share these videos with friends and send in your responses. If you would like to obtain Birkon Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org.